In order. Did I get a motion on the minutes?
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor? Keith, you're up.
Okay. Financials are as of August 31st. We have 13,217,000 in total cash, of which 10,637 is related to FAD. And we have there's a commitment that just came in that's not on here for one of the projects. And it's like $1.6 million, so it's eating, gonna eat into that a little bit. So
Is that in FAD or not in FAD?
I'm sorry.
1.6 million, is it a FAD project?
Yeah, it is. But there's no questions about on the financials, we'll move on to the second portion here, and that's the preliminary budget. In your package.
Sorry for the stupid question. Sorry for the stupid question the other day.
Oh, it wasn't.
And somehow I didn't get to the last page.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the important stuff. You're leaving. Are you leaving or you, okay. That's August?
Sometime around this time next year. It's, I originally thought it was gonna be July, but just the way things are working out with, having our first reconciliation, somewhere coming up during the time period.
He's leaving right before that's due, I think.
Yeah, that would be a good idea to do it before that, but I kind of feel obligated to make sure you guys are okay with everything, so I'm probably gonna stay through. End of September anyway. I have a trip planned to Australia in October and November next year, so that'll probably be my hard cutoff. So anyway, the budget is here, under 2026, we have, anticipated $1.5 million of money coming from Benny. Him personally, I think, yeah. And then the remaining $62,000 is a reimbursement from the Army Corps of Engineers for YMU 40 that should be submitting by the end of the year. We may not get it until 2026. The next line is Westchester Putnam money. We're still anticipating getting $2 million from Westchester.
We're stuck with it, we just,
Yeah, what's the check?
well, it's all part of the letter agreement and extending the thing, it's all tied in with Putnam. So,
And then
we've done our part, we're waiting on Putnam.
Yeah, that's not possible.
Oh, yeah, no, it is now. And Chris, have you heard anything more from Neil? I was hoping he was gonna be here.
No, not since I shared correspondence with you, that he said that it was in the hands of the town attorney or the county attorney's office and they were working on it. That's all I've heard, and I haven't heard anything else. I followed up and just reached out to the person who's working on it, but I haven't heard back.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I thought he might be here today too, so,
so I was hoping, sorry, so we'll follow up with him after the meeting.
yeah.
Normally we would show receipts and outflows for O&M, but since there's going to be no more money coming from Westchester for reimbursements, it's pretty much just going to be the local compliance. So the towns who paid in more than their who spent more than their allotment will get some money back. The other ones will get billed for. Kevin has put in for project design and construction. Those are his estimated numbers to be spent during 2026. We're still holding out that we'll actually get the wastewater study completed in next year.
Can I ask, when you say we put in for project design, how is that different than what we're doing now, Kevin?
No different. It's just we just have to reflect that number on the budget. So it's the what you see in front of you is going to be numbers for any leftover projects that we have for years 1 through 10, and hopeful estimate for what we'll be able to get out for RFP for the next cycle.
But there was no project design line in the 2025 budget.
It was mostly, projects that had already been designed.
Okay.
That we were doing.
Yeah, so it would have been significantly lower because we wouldn't be entering into that many new contracts. The plan and hope is that 2026 is going to be very heavy on picking those projects that are going to work out and getting as much of the design done as possible, with the anticipation that 27 has a better chance for a heavy construction line item.
The rest of the,
Before we go any further, hey, Kevin, is there anything new on that wastewater study, or is that just gone?
No, it's not gone. We were working with Ken Colbrenner at Woodern Current. He has since left, and I'd have to dig back into my emails, but somebody else took over the project and reached out to set up a meeting to keep things moving. So I'm gonna get them back on track to get us something that's deliverable and tangible that we can use. I know when we've gone over it in the past, it was not really a 30% design that we thought we could do anything with at that time. So with what's left in the budget, we want to get them moving to a product that matches what the scope of work originally was.
And you
I haven't I asked them to have that meeting this week. It just didn't line up yet. So I'll reach out to them again.
all right, because we've got to draw this to a conclusion one way or the other.
Yeah.
Can you remind me what this is supposed to lead to, the wastewater
Supposed to
study?
come up with like an overall high level design for all the requirements of sewer systems in all the towns in the watershed.
It was looking for what the needs were, to try to create an idea about what would be needed for additional funding from the state to try to provide adequate wastewater within the watershed.
That's above and beyond what they're doing now with Lewisboro, right? Because we do have two
What?
projects. Okay.
Yeah, well, that was part of it. It was part of
This
this.
190.
No, the 190 was just, I think it was somebody from Burdick, maybe somebody else also, but they put money in the state budget a few years ago for us to do this, and the thought was, unless we have something written down that says we need $183 million to solve it, nobody's gonna have any idea, and no funding's gonna come forth. So he wanted us to put something in place, a document that said, these are the needs, this is what the cost is anticipated on being, and that way, they can take that and push it up in Albany and try to figure out, what the funding, where we can get some of the funding. In the interim, we're just moving forward with WQIP and everything else normally.
Right, but the study they initially did a feasibility report.
Yeah, that was for you guys.
Right, we didn't pay for that, so that came out of this, I guess.
Mm,
I mean, I'm sorry, this is for next year, but it came out of.
Why don't we take this a step back and we'll have Kevin send the draft report to everybody again? Or Linda?
I know what the report looks like. I think it's what happens with it. Like, is it then, it doesn't go to phosphorus reduction, right? So
no,
there's separate
sanitary
bunch
sewer.
of projects
Yeah.
that what East of Hudson would work on or get grants for.
Well, it's.
The jury's still out on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the thought was, we had done this a while ago when it came to some of the bad stuff. We had gotten some money. They put a document together for us. For I think it was the Department of Health, or I forget who we sent it out to. I guess it was somebody in the DEC. I forget the lady's name. But you may even have the book over here, Kevin. But it was a nice thick document that said we need X tens of millions of dollars to fix this problem. And when they saw that, they said, okay, because they really, quite frankly, don't have any idea other than we're going up individually. So I think it was just Chris. It may have been some of the other Assembly or Senate, but there was 190,000 that they got in the state budget as a line item just for us to do this. In fact, Chris was hoping that we'd use it, and every year they'd be able to put more money in for other studies. Of course, it's gone no place. Chris's thought was, unless we have something that says this is the need in this watershed, it will never get covered. We had done years ago, I think it was 2000, I'm guessing 14, it was pre-COVID at any rate. We had gone up, a bunch of us, to see Sabrina Ty, who was president of the EFC at the time, some bunch of supervisors. And, you know, we said, this is what we need. We need 118 million. We have 65. We need another 35. Of course, the 118 is long since been eclipsed with inflation of it. And, you know, what can you do? What can you do to help us for the money we need? And the answer is nothing. I give you 25% of what you don't have, which of course meant we still had 75% of what we didn't have. So anyway, Chris's thought was, because he went through this with Bedford, and his thought was, let's get it all written down and tabularized so that the state knows exactly what the needs are.
But it's 190,000 for 25 and 26, right? So
No, that.
We're already over there. Got it.
Right, okay, and we.
Yeah, we probably spent 70,000 already.
Yeah, the grant was a.
And the work that they did was terrible.
right, but that's the payment for the work they did for Lewisboro came out of that 2020.
It may have, yeah, they didn't do much work for me. They sat and met with me once about
Yeah, yeah.
5 years ago.
Right, they wrote a paragraph with no numbers or right for a bunch of projects, right? Like we need numbers.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
okay.
they did a crappy job.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the only other thing that really isn't adjusted on here is the pollution policy comes due in December. I have not yet gotten a quote for that, so that number could change, especially since almost 2 years ago, I guess, the board decided that we had a large deductible on that. And we wanted to get rid of that deductible.
Well, that was because, yes, that was because the DEP would pay for the insurance, but they wouldn't pay for the deductible, so why carry deductible?
So I'm having it be quoted with the lower deductible, so that number will probably go up. Probably by the amount of the deductible, it's my guess, but.
Or more. Have we had many claims on the pollution side? I don't think so, right?
No. And the big item excuse me, is the personnel line. Of course.
Legal seems a little high, doesn't it?
What's that?
Doesn't legal seem a little high? It's wonderful.
The personnel out there, Kevin has proposed to finally replace our watershed planner and wants to have that start hopefully in January. And I don't know if Kevin, you want to talk about that at all?
Which line item is
Sure,
this?
so
It's in personnel.
Okay, it's just the increase.
And
so with
break down the personnel.
us firing back up for the next 5 years of the cycle, depending on how we land on how many years are actually left on that. Now's the time to look at getting somebody back in here. The workload will increase. And in short, I don't think that we need another design engineer on staff, but I'm going to look for somebody who has a lot of the same skill sets that Corey was able to provide to us. He was really good at being a jack of all trades. But one thing I felt that we weren't able to provide him as an employee was a thorough engineering and design base. So getting another engineer in training in here might not be the best course of action, but a watershed planner that can focus on the other items that Corey really picked up the ball and ran with would be great, like running the GIS, for instance, and keeping our data straight and the watershed analysis. So we kept the value, I think, pretty close to where we hired him at, which I understand. I'll do a little bit more research to make sure that's fine, but I think that's the starting point of what we should be looking to hire somebody at.
And what was that number?
I believe it was 75.
So you plan on bringing them in January, it says here, January 1?
Yeah, that'd be the hope. I think if, to me, it should, January 1's going to give us enough time where they can come in, get their feet wet with the existing projects, where we are with everything, procedures. And then by the time that, with a little bit of luck, if that first check hits from the DEP, for the next cycle of projects, then they're ready to go and looking at all those the site evaluations to get the RFPs together for us. And that way I can bring them in and do all the data entry for O&M because I don't want to do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other thing is, you mentioned earlier that, I'm planning on, retiring next year. And so I have my replacement is in the budget. I have them as starting, sometime in, the fall. Hopefully, maybe like it's starting in August, something like that, late summer, and that way it would give them 2 months to work that of an overlap between them and me, so that we could make sure that they understand what's going on, that they understand what fun time it is working with and get the schedules done for the DEP, and hopefully we have an opportunity to send them off to training at Abella, which is something that I didn't get when I
Anywhere?
started get with Abella with our software. If they don't have training out there, to send them to a training seminar. I think that would be very helpful for someone, so they're not trying to learn it on the fly.
So it says here you've estimated, so it's about 6 weeks is what you have here, right?
Roulette, or
On note number 7, you're bringing somebody in on 8:15 and you're leaving 9:30.
Yeah, something like that.
It's about 6 weeks.
And that can be, will depend on how we can handle with the board approval and bringing someone in and the timing on that. We can have them start earlier, so they go through 2-month end cycles instead of just a single one. That would be even better, but.
You have anybody in mind?
Not. It's. Quite still always out. Open to suggestions, if you have people who are thinking out of that.
Well, I appreciate you giving us a little.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a shock when I saw it, so.
Well, from comment further, I was pretty transparent when I started that I was only going to be here for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on the budget? Otherwise, we would, I guess, just, if you guys have to do a motion to carry it to the
Quarterly meeting?
board.
who asked about legal, that's.
No, I
based
just
on our-
96,000. I don't know how many hours are spent normally, and I don't know what special projects are being done.
Right, we have a retainer, but we almost never meet that many hours. We just.
We can have, I mean, there's no reason to change the number of the budget, but
Right.
we probably should sit down and discuss
Yeah,
what's in the contract and what we might need. I don't.
okay.
But I was saying the circuit committee, I believe, needs to make a motion to present this here at the.
When's that meeting?
The 7th of
December,
October,
I'm sorry?
October 7th.
Oh,
Tuesday, you know.
You okay?
Work for you?
yes, I knew I had something on my calendar. It's this meeting. So
Well, I've
I
got
looked.
someplace else I have to be October 2nd. I'm not sure I'm gonna make it.
Mhm.
Supposed to be at the Department of Health, but I'll figure that out. I'll figure it out.
Do you have to be at the Department of Health?
Elephant Hotel.
Hmm?
The Elephant Hotel stuff.
Asbestos or something?
No, the PFAS,
Oh,
the
yeah.
water. The ongoing,
What's your level, if I could ask?
I don't know the level.
I finally got approvals for those new filters.
You did.
You did.
I did.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm putting them in 3 of the water systems right now. So if it's 8 gallons a minute, it's $3,500.
I mean, I have 3.7 million to bring water there, but
Yeah,
In
yeah.
grant funding.
Do I dig a new well or do I, filter it out?
And if you dig a new well, you think you're gonna get away from it.
No. You can't get, no, we're off tangent here, but you're not gonna find too many wells below 4, which is where you need to be. Yeah, I'm all in the 10s, 15, 20s in that area on my wells. I have 1 or 2 low, but by the time you mix them all, they're 10.
Yeah.
What's the system that you gotta really figure?
It's a WRT.
We're gonna try to be very, very careful. Like a ditch. Make a motion to move the tentative budget to the, directors meeting.
I'll make the motion. Or did you make the motion? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Keith.
Who is doing project updates?
Well, I guess that's still me. So the our project in Yorktown is wrapping up. It's about 30 kilograms that I intend on sending into New York State, ideally next month, and that'll bring our total to about 800, just about 800 kilograms per year removed. And as we push into the fall, handful of projects will be firing off as well, in addition to currently working in Kent on the 75 kilogram projects. So we're in good shape to make a big swing and big dent into the 800s going into the spring, and lined up to finish strong. The part of the submittal that went in as part of the budget, or not submittal, but part of the accounting that we did in the budget, was for new projects to be included for years 11 through 15. A reminder that we are, for 11 through 15, we're entering into year 13 already, which doesn't leave a lot of time left to push ahead. My understanding is that the DEC hasn't really they've been pretty good working with us about, as long as we are advancing, as long as we're making movements towards the end goal, that they haven't really hung their hat on, hey, the clock is ticking and you only have so much time. But it might be great to get that in writing. We don't have that at the moment. But that being said, we're still, we have to come out of the gates with a lot of heavy design work and move those projects forward. Reviewing the list of projects that we do currently have, I think that we are a little deficient on town-owned parcels and town-owned property that we could be working with and pushing forward with. One of the big items that we have to keep in mind in dealing with the new DEP contract is, while it's good we have the backstop of the WQIP that we're in the works of carrying over, we still need to have a pretty good batting average of nearly 100% project success rate. And while I'm hopeful that a lot of the private property owners that have come up and have discussed things with will allow us to move forward, there's always a drop-off rate there. And so what I'd like to see, and I'll bring this up specifically at the board of directors meeting, is if we could shake loose a couple more municipal sites and see what we can do to push those forward. Because it'd be, like I said, we don't really have a lot of wiggle room, as we all know, with the new work plan and the upcoming 5-year cycle. We've really got to have a really good percentage of successful projects and cut out the stuff that might drop out. So I'll bring that up again at the board of directors meeting in hopes that some people might have something that comes along our way. Of course, I'm doing research on my end, and we do have some municipal projects that I just think I'd like to have it weighed a little bit more heavily in that direction versus the private direction. And we're not quite there yet.
Kevin, I have a small one that we're doing right now. We took over a road and drainage and trying to fix things. We're doing it anyway. Maybe there's some value for you. It's not going to be much, but I'll send you the plans over.
Great.
Yeah, Kevin, just, if you wanna give me a call, we'll get in touch with our highway and Steve Wolfel as well. We have a ton of municipal owned lots that would be beneficial, I think, to help in that
That's right.
regard. So.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, working with Nick and Steve's been pretty smooth thus far. And if I know if Nick knows that's something, that funding is available, he'll shake something loose and be good about sending an email up to me to ask, hey, can I do this?
Yeah, if you just
And
wanna,
this is going to work.
you just wanna put together a quick email again, just, just send it off to us three, that'd be great, and we'll be more than happy
That'd be
to.
great. Yeah.
There and work with you on stuff though. I know we talked about a couple other projects, Lake Purdy's and stuff like that, with that property.
Yep.
And then also, of course, if we can get the Woodcrest Terrace done, that would be outstanding.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think Purdy's is a great example of what I expect to be a great partnership with a private property owner. One of those lots is owned by the town, but to get it to work, we really need to have that private property owner on board, and they are. But there's always that, we're dealing with an HOA association that could at the last second, that for all we know, pull a rug out from underneath us. Now that partnership doesn't seem like it would go that direction, but I think that's a good example of being on the other side of, if it's only municipal, then if I only have to argue with the town, it's instead of the homeowners association, we're in good shape. So I'll reach out and I'll send a similar email to all the towns to see what we can shake loose.
All right, we have the agenda for the next board of directors meeting. Anybody have any comments, questions, additions, deletions? Looks good. What are you setting up the meeting dates?
It will go out with the, probably on the 29th next meeting.
And we'll decide on the meeting dates at the board of directors meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a motion to move the board of directors agenda.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. O&M?
No new updates there. Haven't heard anything one way or the other. No large charges that have come up yet. So I continue. I'll hit the bell again on the directors meeting to make sure that everybody's moving forward and submittals are coming in. Yeah, nothing new or major outstanding out there.
Okay. Any other business? None. Motion to adjourn?
So we'll.
Second.
Let me say something. All in favor?
Aye.
Got some checks to sign?